So I wanted to talk just for a brief moment about choices in wood for wood carving and for spoon carving in particular. We have walnut, a very dark wood, makes a very pretty spoon. Cherry, also a red wood, but makes a very pretty spoon and very hard. Butternut has a beautiful grain, but it's not particularly hard, and we'll talk about hardness. I don't offer at this point basswood, but I think that I will shortly. And there's something called the Janka scale. So something like oak has a Janka, it rates the hardness of the wood, which is the difficulty it will take you to put your knife through it. But it lists oak as 2,680 on the Janka scale. And walnut is half of that, 1,010. But still very hard. Cherry is also still very hard. And there's lots of things that go into this is okay. So cherry is also very hard. Butternut is a softwood, and it's pretty easy to carve, and it still has grain. I haven't been offering basswood. It's absolutely for wood carving. If you're going to get into doing little character carving or anything like that, basswood, birds, basswood is the way to go. Basswood has a Janka rating of 410, and butternut has a rating of 490. So both of these guys are basically half of in hardness on the hardness scale of walnut and cherry. The reason that I make the choices I do, absolutely, I think this will end up being a very bland wood. Another part to the reason that it's so easy to carve is that it has very little grain. Butternut continues to be very easy to carve, and it's very close to basswood in hardness, but it has a beautiful grain. And I don't sell them, but I frequently, for myself, cut out wormy wood that has holes going through it, and it's really pretty interesting to look. The reason that I choose to do cherry and walnut is that they're just absolutely beautiful, and you are certainly able to carve them. So, we'll also can tell by weight. Cherry and walnut are very similar, both about 3 ounces for one of these little spoons, and the spoons are basically identical. And then by weight, basswood comes in at something more like 2 ounces. Actually, this is basswood. And butternut, very similar in weight. So I recommend for people who are starting out to start out with butternut. It'll be much more enjoyable to cut and carve, and your product will, I think, come out better. Some people who want to add details, basswood might be best. I've actually been experimenting lately with dyeing wood with natural woods, and I think this will be the choice for that. And so far as durability, the Janka scale originally was for hardness, and they use it primarily for flooring. These guys would dent very easily. Their weight, we just looked at, is much less than these guys. And it seems to me that the finished product with cherry and walnut is absolutely gorgeous. It's very hard, hard. It's heavy, so it gives a nice heft to a spoon. But it's difficult to do, and I think in general that it would be best to start with butternut and move on to cherry and walnut, get a feel for how it is to carve. And basswood is another choice. Now I have in the past done birch. Birch is as hard as walnut and cherry, pretty close. But I don't see that it's particularly beautiful, and I don't think it's worth the effort. There are thousands of kinds of maples, but most of them are just too hard. Some of them have very pretty grain, not all of them. And I think really for investing your time in making a spoon, butternut, walnut, and cherry are your best bets. Thanks. We'll do another little video shortly. Bye-bye.